Team Fluent Artists, what's happening? How y'all doing? Come in, type your name, where you from in the chat. Make sure that you can hear me. All right, I got my comments over here to the right so I can see you. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen, man, because I know you want to sell art online. And so let's get right into it. All right. All right. So just like Tierra here sold this piece for 2K, Galactic Jellies. If you want to sell art online for 2K or more, type yes in the chat. You are in the right place. Jasmine said print so the gift to keep on giving. We also going to talk about Jasmine's story about how she sold $15,800 worth of art in only 20 days, the first 20 days of the month. Type yes in the chat. That's something you like to accomplish. All right. We got Miss Joe with that cash on the table. We always tell the truth about selling art. Tierra, man, one of my favorite stories. She joined this program and this community, and her kids were so inspired by her. She taught them how to sell art when they were 2, 5, and 7. They go Jonte with a 2K lamb piece, Jasmine with another successful payment, my man Joe with a 2K piece. Miss Sahara got her daughter Joe San Yu in here selling art. Miss Tasha with another sale right there. All right, type yes in the chat if you are here and you're ready to start selling your art online in any economy. All right, no matter if you're new, if you're a vet, man, you're in the right place. We're going to show you how to start selling your art for higher prices and really go full time. That's your goal. Miss Raquel right there just sold that piece. Angels Among Strangers by Tierra. All right, and so, man, one of the things that I'm most excited about, and we're going to break this down step by step in this live class today, is how we got artists that are just getting started advertising their art online, like Miss Anitra here, and she got 37 new collectors in the first 72 hours that she started advertising her art. All right, type yes in the chat if you like to get 37 new collectors in the first 3 days when your art ads go live. I just type yes in the chat, and she was so excited. She said, Sharess, I truly apologize, and normally I wouldn't send a message this late, but I couldn't hold back the excitement. 19 total collector opportunities and 2 scheduled collector calls. All right, it's happening quick for artists, okay? And then she sent me a message the following morning. She said, by the way, your girl is up 37 leads, 3 collector appointments, a lot of great comments about what inspired them to get the download. And the last time I checked, she had over 277 new collectors in the first 16 days. I type yes in the chat if you'd like to get hundreds of collectors in the next couple of weeks. All right, we're going to show you exactly how to do that by leveraging the tools that we're going to give you in this class right here. All right, so make sure you get a pen and pad out because, man, we are about to show you exactly how this is done. And so, man, one of my favorite stories in this community and why we do this is Jasmine's. And so Fluent Artist Jasmine, she said, I want to share her story. She said, let me put this in perspective for you guys. For years, I gave away my art for free. I joined the Fluent Artist January last year. 1 year ago, I was still selling most of my original art for $200, and my biggest sale this time last year was $500 to a hospital. This month, if I make no more money for the next 10 days, I will have total to make $15,800. I am floored. I never thought this was possible for me. All right, type yes in the chat if you want to learn how to make over $15,000 in less than 3 weeks. All right, she did that in 20 days. I should see some yeses coming through in the chat. All right, if you want to get this skill set, you are in the right place. She said, thank you, Sharess, for giving us the tools to make this passion into a business and for investing your time into my life. All right. She said, thank you to the other affluent artists. It's the community that fuels the fire. All right. If you want to start selling art for over 15K in a month, just type yes in the chat. All right. And so if you're here right now, my goal is simple. I want to help you become an affluent artist. All right. And so the goal for this presentation is to help 2 types of artists. If you are a new artist, you get a step-by-step blueprint on how to create art that sells itself on Instagram so you can become an affluent artist that collectors love to buy and tell everyone about. If you are a master among us, you'll get the affluent artist secrets on how to smoothly transition to selling your art online at higher prices, keep more of your money, all right, and get the worldwide recognition and status you deserve from the art industry. And then every affluent artist gets access to the brand new artwork app that makes it simple to sell your art and keep collectors buying over and over again, all right? And so this new opportunity is the key to your desire to consistently sell your art online, and it's only achievable by becoming an affluent artist. All right, so if I help you become an affluent artist so you can make more money selling your art, will you promise to spend a little bit of that with me and my company in the future? Just type yes in the chat. See the yes, what's happening? All right. And so my name is Sharess. And like many of you, I've been an artist my entire life. All right. So that picture at the top, that's young Sharess. And when I was a child, man, I used to love drawing all of the cartoons and all of the characters, right? Man, you could find me drawing like all of the characters on the cereal boxes. I love drawing Ninja Turtles, really anything, man. I love drawing. And when my son turned 1, I drew this self-portrait of him and I for his first birthday. And then I'm also a hooper, all right? I played Division I college basketball, and I know that's where my love for assisting people and helping people out comes from, okay? Now, when I was in college, man, listen, I didn't have any collectors, sales skills, you could forget about it. Plus, the day after Christmas, my house burned down, and my family lost everything, and I lost all of my art. And as you can imagine, man, I was really depressed. And so I became a starving artist dropout in 2007. My confidence was really low, just coming off of losing everything, man. We were still trying to find a place to live, but I went back to school. It was still very hard to sell art and break into the art industry. And so I became obsessed with mastering business online. I was like, I got to figure this out and how to sell on this internet, okay? And so the first thing I knew I needed was a mentor that had already did it. And so I ended up writing a letter to 19 multimillionaires that had internet businesses. And this gentleman right here, Mike Koenigs, he was one of the first people that responded. And so Mike, he was so impressed with my marketing and sales skills to get his attention that he ended up hiring me to help him launch his next product. And we actually launched his product and we made $1,800,000 in the first 7 days, okay? So that's almost $2 million in just a week. And this changed my life. I ended up writing a book about how we were able to do that, walking other entrepreneurs step by step through that process. And I became a #1 best-selling author of the book, How to Create Lifetime Customers. And you can find that on Amazon. And so I've spoken all around the world, teaching people how to sell their products and services online. I've even helped celebrities like Cynthia Bailey from The Housewives sell her products and services online as well. And I've helped a lot of creators just like you make a lot of money selling their products and services. Now, even with this success, I still had dreams of being a full-time artist. I type me in the chat if you're working a job right now, but you got dreams of being a full-time artist. Just put a me in the chat, all right? Now, I'm having all this success helping all of these creators make money online. And I had an epiphany. I was like, you know, as an artist, if you're on that income roller coaster where you're making money some months, but then some months are like really slow, some artists have like income roller coaster years, or some years are slow. That simply means you do not have a consistent flow of collector leads and sales. Then I was like, what would happen if I applied those #1 best-selling internet marketing and sales principles to fine art? What's up, Joseph? I see you with the meet. All right. And so I had a crazy plan. I said, I'm going to host my first art event and sell out the show. I was like, man, I'm going to use these principles, see if we can sell out the whole show. All right. And so we did just that, man. We had an incredible event. This is me standing with one of the collectors. Man, they were enjoying the wine and the hors d'oeuvres. Everybody was getting along. But most importantly, we actually sold art. All right. And so type yes in the chat, man, if you want to sell a piece for $2,000 at your first or next event. All right. If you want to start selling art for $2,000 or more. And so I was super excited, man, because we were selling art at the very first event. And that was my goal. And so affluent artist Melissa Mitchell, some of y'all might know Melissa, man. She popping. She got a big brand online. She was one of the artists at that event. And she said, flashback to this dope art investors event by Sharess May. All of these pieces sold and have already doubled in value. All right. And so while we're at this event having a great time, I realized that we had some very real problems though, right? Because I'm an artist, but my business hat was on. And so the first thing was doing an art event, it cost me $5,000 of my own money up front before I sold anything. And I didn't like being like 5K in the hole and like hoping and wishing that we were going to get some art. So I ain't like that, right? But another problem though, artists, we were using any tools to get paid. So we were using Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, Square, PayPal, taking cash, right? And it was cool that we were making money, but it left all of our art sales disorganized. You got it on all these platforms. Everything was really hard to track. Plus, the biggest problem, we had collectors spending thousands of dollars with us at this very first event, and we couldn't easily follow up with them because of the tools that we were using, right? If you take a payment with Cash App or Zelle, right, you might get the collector's phone number, but you don't get their email address. You definitely don't get their home or business address, and you absolutely don't get the credit card on file so you can follow up and easily make another sale. What's up? Hello, all right? And so that's a big problem if you don't get access to that credit card where you can easily sell your next piece. And so this is what inspired the Affluent Artist movement, all right? Because I couldn't find a solution. So I had to create a new way for you to have 100% unlimited access to your collector's information and a tool that makes everything easy to sell your art on and offline. And so as an affluent artist, you need one system that accepts payments up to $1 million. You should be able to easily sell your art anywhere, in person or online. You should want to be able to track your artwork, sales, and collector's information in one place. Collectors should be able to buy your art with one click, just like we buy products on Amazon. And we want collectors to be able to track their net worth in your art so they can see your value increase as an artist, okay? And then me as a marketer, I like to bring interested collectors to me instead of me having to chase them, all right? Put yes in the chat if you want collectors to come to you because they're interested in buying your art instead of you having to go out and try to chase them all the time, okay? Now, back to that first art show. I did not reach the goal of selling 100% of the artwork, but we did sell 2/3 of the art, all right? So we sold most of it. Most importantly, every artist at the show made money. And we had sales of $500, $1,500, and one artwork sold for over $2,000, okay? And so, man, we took this show on the road. After we did that first live art event, man, the word started spreading. And so we actually got invited to Art Basel in Miami to start consulting with some artists down there to help them sell their art at their live shows. And so this is me and some of my friends who were down there that we were consulting with the artists. And so we were selling out at Art Basel as well. And so we having a great time in Miami. But then I really got to thinking, I was like, man, this process, this sales process and all this information that I've learned and becoming a best-selling author, I was like, man, what would happen if we start helping artists sell their art online, all right? And so I put together a small group of affluent artists, and Chris Smith, she was one of the first artists in that program, okay? And so Chris, she had a unique situation. She had a small email list of only 32 collectors, all right? And so we helped her come up with some email campaigns. We sent out one email and she got 13 art sales from that small list of collectors with only one email. Type yes in the chat if you like to get over 13 sales just sending out one email. All right, I was blown away at how fast she was getting sales, especially with a small list like that, okay? And then we helped Santana. Santana got a $360 commission with that Money Monday sold, all right? And then my man Dwayne, he kept selling art with this process. He said, sold, another piece of art gone like the wind. And so I was just blown away, man. Artists kept selling their art. And so if you struggle, listen, it's not your fault. I went to college. I studied art and design in college, man. I had some great teachers, were really inspired by my classmates and their skills, but they don't teach you how to sell your art, how to get collectors, and how to really market yourself and have a career in college. That class wasn't there. You learn art history all day, every day, but they don't teach you how to make your own money and build your own career. And so then we were having this success online. I was like, man, I want to get collectors 24/7 on autopilot, right? That's the marketer had me thinking like that. And we started to work on some stuff, but the solution was really hard and expensive to create. And so I ended up blowing over $30,000 in over a year, hiring 2 dev teams to create artwork, and they didn't even get the app finished. I invested every penny to my name, and so I thought about giving up, man, but I'm really not a quitter. That's the basketball player in me. And I knew going back to the old way wouldn't work for me. I had just did this art event, and I was like, man, I got to try again. So I found one more dev team, a third dev team, and we went at it one more time. And so listen, y'all, the new artwork app and the and the automated collector system I created, it started working so well that many artists were selling art within the first 7 days, all right? And so, man, affluent artist Kira, she was one of the youngest artists that we helped at the time. She was 18, she had just graduated high school, and she wanted to sell her art. She didn't really want to go to college. She wanted to be a full-time artist. And so we taught Kira how to sell, and she ended up selling a piece in the first 19 hours, all right? Type yes in the chat if you here and you want to start selling art quickly like Kira. All right, and y'all show Kira some love in the chat, man, because it's dope being a young artist and having people show you what to do instead of people trying to discourage your art dreams, man. So y'all show Kira some love in the chat. And then my guy Z, I was excited for him because he said, hey, team, I haven't had a chance to report on my record-breaking success this past week. And so Z ended up selling 7 prints, and he got deposits for 8 commissions in 1 week. Type yes in the chat if you like to sell over 7 prints and get deposits for 8 commissions in 1 week. Nice work, Kira. I appreciate you. Thank you for showing Kira some love. All right. And then affluent artist Jen Turner. Man, she's a single mom. She has 4 kids, and she sold a piece in a little over 24 hours. So she said it took a little longer than 24 hours, but I have my first sale. It's amazing how much money I left on the table by not following up. And so listen, pro tip artists, if you got past collectors right now and you haven't been marketing to them to try to sell more art, you literally got a gold mine on your hands that you're not mining. All right. So you got to get that money. Continue to market to your past collectors. That's what we help Jen do. All right. And Jen continued to work on her art business. And I'm super proud to say that she actually got invited to Miami Art Basel, and she sold this piece for $5,840. Type yes in the chat if you want to start selling art at Art Basel like Jen. All right. She sold Breakthrough 2 to this beautiful couple right here. And then because of her success, man, success leaves clues and it continues to compound. She actually got invited to London to attend the Sotheby's Art Business Institute of Art. All right. And Jen is a member of the affluent artist community. And so type yes in the chat if you like to learn directly from Sotheby's and Christie's on how they selling billions of dollars worth of art every year. Just type yes in the chat. Man, Jen is incredible, man. And I'm excited because she's doing big things. She said she felt like she was in heaven. I see you with the yes, Joseph. All right. So artists, this is the truth. Okay. And I had to learn this through this process. After creating artwork and helping all kinds of artists around the world transform into affluent artists, I realized we no longer had to wait for galleries to accept us or wait on word of mouth to sell art or already have a big following on social media. That old way of being a starving artist was dead. All right. We didn't have to wait on collectors. We didn't have to wait to get sales. We could get collectors on autopilot using the internet. And I'm going to show you a 3-step process on how to do this right here. I see you with the yes with all the S's. All right. So if you're here right now and you want to be a full-time affluent artist, man, this is your golden ticket. You are in the right place. And I'm excited to serve you this evening. All right. Now, in order to do this, I need something from you. And it is one simple word, and that is belief. Okay. Because I will give you the solutions to become a full-time affluent artist, but you have to believe you can do it and put it into action. Okay. Because nothing hurts me more than giving you the game, then seeing you weeks, months, or years later clinging to the same starving artist problem. Man, you wouldn't believe how many artists we help, but they don't believe they can do it and they don't take action and their lives don't change. All right. So if you different, put a 1 in the chat. If you believe that you can do it, man, put a 1 in the chat so I know that you believe in yourself, that you can do this. If they're doing it, man, these artists were just getting started with this. You absolutely can do it, okay? And so if you want to get like Brescia Jones here and start exceeding your sales goals, all right? She said for the first quarter this year, I set a goal to make $12,000. As of today, I'm super happy to have hit $13,000 instead. Keep going, motivation, affluent artists. Put a yes in the chat if you want to start exceeding your sales goal. All right? You making more money than the goals that you set. I put a yes in the chat. Let's get it, okay? And because of all of the success I was having helping different artists in the U.S., members from the country of Barbados caught wind of how we were helping them. And they actually flew me into Barbados for a week to sit down with them to come up with a plan to help those artists sell art to a place of collectors. And so if you remember when the pandemic was around us, tourism really dried up, and that devastated the art industry in Barbados. People weren't coming, so the artists weren't selling any art. And so they brought me in to come up with a plan to get them on artwork so they can access a global marketplace of collectors, okay? So we literally helping artists all around the world with this process, all right? And then also, man, because of our success, I got invited to speak on art investing at BlackRock. And if you don't know, BlackRock is the world's largest asset manager, and they got over $10 trillion in assets under management, okay? Type yes in the chat if you want to be plugged in with a community of collectors that actually look at your art as an investment. I type yes in the chat because we connected with wealthy collectors. They got $10 trillion in assets. I type yes in the chat. And so after 20 years in business and helping artists sell worldwide, man, type yes if it's your turn to get new collectors and sell your art online. I want to see some yeses coming through. If it's your turn, you're ready to get this money and sell your art worldwide to a global marketplace of collectors. I should see them yeses coming through, because once you discover these 3 secrets, you'll have the keys to get new collectors online so you can accomplish your dream vision for your art. Man, we talk to so many artists. Artists want to open their own studio. They want to open their own gallery to sell their art or help other artists in their community. They want to give back in so many different ways. So we want to help you accomplish your dream vision for your art, okay? And so, man, Abrisha, using this process, she got a $5,008 sale from a brand new collector using this process, okay? And something really cool and interesting about Abrisha, like she won't sell art for $5,000. She'll put a few dollars on the end. So it won't be 5K, it'll be 5,008. And so you'll see that theme as you see Abrisha selling her art, okay? Type yes in the chat if you hear you want to start selling art for 5K or more. I should see some yeses coming through. All right. Man, let's get into it. These are the 3 secrets to selling your art online. Let's get into these secrets. Make sure you got your pen and pad out because I'm going to break this down to you step by step, all right? So secret number 1, how to make your artwork speak for itself and sell for $2,000 or more on Instagram, okay? And so let me know if this sounds familiar. So I told y'all I went to Art Basel in Miami, and I'm talking to all of the industry experts, right? And all of these people are like, yeah, Sherez, man, you know, you got a great story, but you know, you just now getting back into the art industry. People don't really know your name, and it's going to be hard to sell your art for a few hundred or maybe even a couple of $1,000s, if at all. All right. And so, has anyone ever tried to discourage your art dreams? Type me in the chat if anybody has ever tried to discourage you from selling your art and really getting into this game. Okay. And if they have, I want to let you know that I believe in your creative dreams. Okay. I believe in you if other people have discouraged you, because we on the other side of this. I know the new way. So let's have some fun real quick. Let's play a quick little game called Could You Do It Better? All right. Type yes or no in the chat if you think you can do this better. All right. There's no right or wrong answer. I just want to see what kind of artists we got in the room tonight. Type yes or no in the chat if you think you can do this better. All right. So this piece is by Van Gogh, and it's titled Portrait of Dr. Gachet. All right, y'all, excuse me, my clicker going a little fast on me today, all right? Van Gogh, Portrait of Dr. Gachet, all right? And so why is this piece famous, Affluent Artist? It is famous because of the story, all right? And the story you create for your art has to touch your collector's emotions, okay? You got to create stories for your art that touches your collector's emotions, all right? And so this is how you sell your art for higher prices. I know many of us have been taught to base our sales on time or size. But when you really think about that, it doesn't really make sense, okay? So first, time. When you spend more time devoted to your art, you get better, you get faster and more efficient, right? And so when you really think about it, it don't make sense to charge less because you're getting done with work quicker, right? That don't really make sense to base your price on time. And then also size. So we've seen wall art, like this dope Biggie piece I bought behind me, sell for more than murals on the side of buildings, right? And so size ain't really it either, but I know that's what they teaching. And so we price out art by creating our very own art story, okay? And that's ART story, all right? So get your pen and your pad out. We're gonna break down how you create art stories so your art can sell itself for high prices, all right? So you can start breaking your sales records, okay? And so I discovered this secret at our very first live art event through my friend, Melissa, all right? So she was one of the artists at that event. And you see Melissa, she got some of her art behind her. Man, that piece right there to the right and the one to her left, both of those, man, she told these incredible stories about them. They were very, very vivid, right? And I'm there watching because I'm hosting the event. And I'm just watching how mesmerized the collectors were as they were listening to her tell this story, okay? And so this is how we sold that piece for $2,000 at that very first event. And so the collector who bought the piece, he didn't have a clue who she was. And he didn't know anything about her brand on IG. He didn't know anything about her brand deals with Spanx and Ford and the city of Atlanta and all these different people that she's worked with. And so I asked him, I was like, man, why did you invest $2,000 in an artist that you don't know anything about? And he said, Sherez, the art is great, but it was the story, okay? And so if you have this problem where you posting your art on social media, whether you getting like little to no engagement like this piece, or you're getting a lot of likes and comments, but you're not getting any sales, just add your art story, Affluent Artist, all right? When you add your art story, you can start pre-selling art before it's complete. Everybody put pre-sale in the chat. Pre-sale, P-R-E-S-E-L-L. Type pre-sale in the chat. So Jasmine, she said, I posted this piece that I'm still working on last night, And I sold a pre-order print 9 a.m. this morning. Gratitude. Art story and organic conversation building relationships really work. All right. Type yes in the chat if you want to sell your first and next piece for over $1,000, like Miss Raquel Miller here. I see you with the pre-sale in the chat. I know some artists are just getting started and they trying to make their first $1,000 sale, like Miss Raquel. Man, we love helping all kind of artists, okay? No matter where you are in your career, no matter what your price points are, all right? And then Brisha Jones, man, I'm excited to share this. She sold this beautiful abstract piece, Fearless Expanded, for $6,209. Type yes in the chat if you want to sell your first and next piece for over $6,000, like Brisha, okay? And she said, I'm really still speechless, but this is a significant sale for a lot of reasons. One, this was the biggest piece that she had ever sold. It was a 60 by 48, and it was the highest price that she had ever sold it at the time, okay? And so I want to read to you what the collector said so you can see the impact the art story had on their buying decision, okay? So she said, my husband and I had a hard week and an already pretty messed up year. I know we're not special in any regards. Everything seems hard right now for everyone. When my husband and I saw your painting, we first both said, wow, we love that. And then we talked about how it made us feel, hope, moving out of our comfort zone, leaving a bad year and entering a new place, fearlessness. When we read your thoughts on it as well, it just seemed like we needed it in our home. Thank you for painting this beautiful piece. It will be the conversation piece of the many meals we share with friends as we embrace a new era in the world, one of expanding fearlessness, all right? So type yes in the chat if you see how the story Brisha wrote for Fearless Expanded connected with what the collectors were going through in this season of their lives, okay? And so it's that emotional connection that makes collectors want to buy your art at any price. If you connect with their emotions by creating a powerful art story, man, they don't care what the price is because you really tugged on their heartstrings, all right? I see the pre-sale and the yes is coming through, okay? And so let's get into how to create these art stories for yourself, all right? Make sure you get a pen and pad, take notes, all right? This is a powerful, powerful framework that we use to tell stories. And also a pro tip, if you think you need help with storytelling, you can use ChatGPT and leverage AI to do the story for you, all right? And it does a great job, okay? So A equals art star. Who's the art star in your art story, all right? Every story has to have a star in the story. Art equals role. What's the art star's role in your art story? What are they trying to do? What do they want to accomplish? Who do they want to become? All right, what's their role in the story? And then T equals twist. What's the emotional twist in your art story, all right? So if y'all like a good movie like me, man, you know a good movie have you sitting on the edge of your seat with twists and turns, waiting for you trying to figure out what's going to happen next, okay? And so we can use that same concept in our visual art, all right? You can tell visual stories that have these twists and turns that just get collectors emotionally involved in it, all right? And so let's go back to that Van Gogh piece, and I want to show you how it used the art story framework to sell this for a record-breaking price at auction, okay? So the art star is Dr. Gachet, all right? This is a portrait of Dr. Gachet. What's his role? He's Van Gogh's doctor. That's simple and easy enough. But a fluent artist, what is the twist? The twist is the doctor may have killed Van Gogh, all right? And so y'all know people love murder mysteries. Man, just about everybody be nosy in your business trying to figure out what's going on when it ain't got nothing to do with them. And so this story became so sensationalized and people were really trying to figure out that Van Gogh painted his last portrait of his killer, that when this piece went to auction, it actually sold for a record-breaking $82.5 million at Christie's, all right? $82.5 million with an M. Now, I want to have a little fun and draw a quick line in the sand, all right? I know some artists here, they just getting started. You're trying to get in the flow of selling your art. You're trying to figure out how to get collectors. Some of y'all want to sell for $1,000 or $5,000 or $10,000 or $100,000 or more, all right? But if you want to make millions selling your art like me, man, put $82.5 M in the chat, all right? You can put the money bag emoji. You can put the money, the emoji with the money tongue. You can put some cash. Let me know in the chat with some emojis in that 82.5 M if you want to make millions with your art like these other artists, all right? Because again, remember, success leaves clues, and if they can do it, we can do it too, okay? And so becoming an affluent artist And creating your art story allows your art to truly sell itself for higher prices. All right. I see you with the money bag emoji. Can you see how your art story helps you sell more art? Just type yes in the chat if you see the power of your art story and how it helps you sell more art. All right. Storytelling is one of the key things you need to do to start breaking your sales record and not just appear to be like any other artist that got great talent. All right. And so y'all know it's a lot of talented artists that ain't really selling a lot of art, and they definitely not selling for the prices that they really deserve. And so you got to add that art story. All right. My man Joseph with them 82 M's. I see you, brother. All right. And so artists, this works for you. If you are a painter, if you are a sculptor, if you do acrylic pours, if you do jewelry, photography, mixed media, digital art, drawings, ceramics, collage, furniture, clothes, murals, metalworks, wearable art. It literally works for all artists at all price points. All right. Inspa Cool, what's up? I see you with that cash on there. All right. And so back to my friend Melissa. Again, when we were at that event, using the power of her art story, she sold 100% of her available artwork. All right. It was all fueled by the power of her story. Okay. And I noticed she was the only artist that sold out. Every artist sold art, but she was the only artist that sold out because of the stories that she told, okay? And so if you're going to use this to start telling stories, put me in the chat. If you're going to use this to start telling art stories so you can sell more art at higher prices, put a me in the chat, all right? You got to believe that you can do it, and you got to take action, okay? I want to see some me's coming through, all right? All right, let's get it, man. These are the 3 secrets to selling your art online. We're going to get into secret number 2, how to sell art to collectors that buy with one click on a new, easy-to-use app, all right? Now, this piece right here represents a turning point in me as a collector, okay? And an artist, really, all right? Because I couldn't believe this happened. And so I ran into one of my friends from the College of Art and Design. He was a classmate of mine, and he invited me to his art show. And I'm like, of course, man, I live in Atlanta. We got a great art community here. And as a fellow artist, I love to invest into other creators, right? And so I'm always going to shows and buying other art. And so I go through the event space. I see this piece. I absolutely love it, man. And when I saw my friend, I stepped to him with my business credit card in hand, and I was like, yo, I want to buy this piece. And what he said next, like my mouth hit the floor. He said, Sharess, I can't take your payment because people usually cash at me. And so I'm sitting here with my business credit card, practically pressing into his chest, trying to buy this piece. And he told me that he had to turn down my money. I couldn't believe it. The only way I was able to buy this piece, I had to go into, he worked at a tattoo shop on the same strip. We had to go in the tattoo shop. I had to swipe my card on a point of sale system just to get the piece. And that really blew my mind. I was like, man, this brother turned down my turned down my payment, and he had to go through a whole nother business to process the payment. All right. If you turning down money, just put yes in the chat. If you turning down cash, have you ever had to turn down a payment because you weren't prepared? Okay. If so, man, you got to raise your level. All right. We got to help you become an affluent artist and present yourself in a professional way. All right. Because if you turning down money, man, this is one of the old, slow, hard, and expensive ways to sell art. And so rule number 1 is get paid. All right. Everybody got to get paid. So everybody put get paid in the chat. Rule number 1 is get paid. We can't be turning down money. We got to get our coins. Okay. And so if you can't take payments in 2026, we got to step your game up. If you're still using tools like Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, etc., again, this is cool to get paid and get in the game, but at certain price points, collectors not going to want to do business with you. Why? A collector don't want to send you a $10,000 Cash App for a new piece, because what happens if you don't deliver the art? What happens if something happens to it in transit, right? And then they can't get their money back, right? You can't get a refund. You can't call your credit card company. And so after certain price points, these become a handicap and people don't want to do business with you, okay? So we got to step our game up. Social selling, man, put guilty in the chat if you've ever dropped a photo of your art on Instagram, Facebook, or TikTok, and you said something like email or DM me for price, and you got crickets and nobody bought anything. Just put guilty in the chat. I know a lot of artists experience this, okay? I've experienced. I know exactly how it is. All right, just put guilty in the chat. And then if you're still taking orders on paper, not gonna get you to tell on yourself, but you gotta step your game up, okay? And then if you applying and paying for shows, man, if that's working for you, continue to do that, man. I love going to live events and shows and having that experience and seeing the art up front. But then there's another side of it, right? If you rent out vans, rent out trucks, taking all your art, packing it all up to go to the show, and you're not selling anything, you got to break down and take it back home. Man, that is no bueno. Artists don't like doing that, right? It's a waste of time and it's a waste of money, okay? And so we overcame all of this and we created a brand new app called Artwork that's going to allow you to sell your art all over the world. You can track all of your art sales in one place, and collectors have their credit cards on file where they can buy your art with one click, okay? And Jasmine, she's one of the artists on Artwork. She said, I just uploaded some of my original art on the app a couple of days ago, and about 30 minutes ago, got a notification that one of my pieces sold. Still in shock a bit at how quick the sale happened, but great way to end the night. Thank you, Sharez, for perfecting the app. It definitely is a game changer for us as artists, okay? And so I'm going to show you a quick Artwork demo. This is our demo account. We didn't want to have any sensitive collector data in here, but it's going to show you how simple and easy it is to add your art to Artwork, sell your art, track all of your sales, and it's going to take you to the marketplace where collectors can buy your art with one click.
Hey, my name is Sharez May. I want to give you a quick demo of the Artwork app. So the Artwork app does two very simple things, all right? If you are an artist, it allows you to sell your art, get collectors all over the world, and manage all of the most important key metrics in your business. And if you are a collector, it makes it simple for you to buy art with the click of a button and track the value of your art collection, all right? And so I'm going to show you the artist side of the dashboard first, then I'll pause and take you to the collector side. So when you're logged in as an artist and you're on your sales dashboard, you'll see your gross revenue, how many pieces you sold, what's the average price, all right? And this sales graph will show you your sales over any amount of time. Right here, you can set a sales goal. If say you set it for $100,000, if you made some sales today, that number will be in blue at the top. And this dial will show you how much you've made. We haven't made any sales today. This is our test account. And if you hover over it, you can see how many sales you made today. And it's really simple to add a new goal as well. As you start making sales, you'll see your top sellers right here. So you see it by name, how many pieces you sold in case you have prints or multiples, and you'll see how much revenue you made from each piece. Right here under your new orders tab, you'll see your latest orders. And so you stay on top of what needs to be shipped out. Down here at the bottom, you'll see your top collectors. So you'll see them by name, how many pieces they own in their collection, and how much money they've invested with you in your art business, all right? And then once you go to your artwork tab, this is where you'll see all of the art that you have listed on the site, ready for sale, and also in the marketplace for collectors to buy with one click. So let's say you want to add art. It's very simple. You click add artwork. You just have to fill out these fields right here. And once you click save, it'll save it. I'm just going to close that. If you want to email it to a collector, you can click share offer, enter your collector's email, send the offer. Email is already pre-written. They can click directly to the link and buy your art. If you like to copy a link, you can copy it as normal and send it via text message or share it on social media. And also, if you want to delete your product, it's very simple and easy to delete. As collectors begin buying art from you, you'll see collectors in your dashboard. So you see all of the information right here, so you can contact with them and follow up with them and make future sales. If you click on their dashboard, you'll see a list of all of the art they purchased from you here. As your orders start coming through, you'll see your order and payment history right here. So you see if they were successful or failed transactions, all right, who bought it, the artwork, the purchase amount, and the date. And then as your money is being in transit to your bank account and deposited, you will also see your payouts here, all right? And so when you want to begin buying as a collector, all you have to do is click switch to collector, and it'll take you to the collection side of the marketplace, all right? And again, this is our test marketplace right here, but I'm going to pause for a moment to show you how simple it is to buy as a collector. So now I'm logged into the app as our test collector. And so you see when art is sold out, it'll be sold out in the marketplace, all right? And you can just scroll through the marketplace to check out all of the art that's available on the dashboard. All right. And so let's say if you want to buy something, it's very simple. You can click buy now. And we have your card on file. You can choose which card you want to use. If you need to add a new one, you can do that. But let's say we want to select this card. We click confirm order. And it's that simple. All right. It's purchased. And so now if you want to go check your collection, you can click collection. And it'll take you to your collection. You see, we just purchased this one right here. All right. So you can see all of your active collection. And as you are buying from artists, you can also see the artist that you're purchasing artwork from. All right. So I'm going to go back to the marketplace real quick. And let's say if you want to add it to your cart, you can add it to your cart. So you want to get a couple in there. And you can easily check your shopping cart and go to the checkout page and buy all of the pieces at the same time. So it's a very simple tool for artists to sell their art and also for collectors to buy and track the value of their collection as well. All right. Hope you enjoyed the presentation. Talk to you soon.
All right, type yes in the chat, man, if you love how simple and easy it is to use artwork. I see some of the hearts coming through. All right, and so I want to answer a few FAQs. So first, artists, you set your own price. All right. We like to write out art stories in the description. So when a collector clicks on that piece, they'll see it listed there with your art. Collectors can also easily buy multiple pieces just by adding it to their cart. We also like to add the shipping fee to the art price. All right. So again, if the piece is a G and $1,000 and the shipping is 100, we'll list it as 1,100. Artists, you ship the art directly to the collector and you get paid fast. All right. So sales deposit in your account in 24 to 48 hours. And then artwork gets a small 10% commission. Okay. And so again, man, we celebrate all artists, all skill levels, all price points, because there's a more than enough abundance for all of us. And so Jen, she sold Purpose right here on artwork. Tierra sold Bright Future. I love those pastel colors. And then Christina sold Veil of Night. All right. Type yes in the chat if you want to sell your first piece on artwork like Magdalena. She said, I'm very happy. I sold my first piece in artwork. Many thanks to my new collector. This piece goes direct to ATL. All right. Type yes in the chat. And so now I've shown you how using the artwork app allows you to easily sell more art online and keep all of your prices, collector, and business info in one place. Type yes if you can see how this saves you time, money, and makes it simple to manage your business as an artist and access a global marketplace of collectors. All right. Just type yes in the chat. All right, man, we rocking and rolling. All right. So artists, man, if you haven't taken a note yet, make sure you get your pen and your pad out, because this secret number 3 is about to blow your mind. All right. This is a fan favorite right here. All right. These are the 3 secrets to selling your art online. So secret number 3, how to attract the collector spending millions on art with Sotheby's using Instagram and AI. Okay. And so after our first wave of affluent artist success, I knew I wanted to help more artists get high income collectors online with AI and online ads. Okay. And so I've seen artists struggle to make sales with their posts on social media and in these art groups. And so if you know, like I know, getting a bunch of likes, engagement, and comments does not equal money in the bank, right? We know that likes don't equal cash in the bank. And then I love friends and family sales. So Tierra, she sold a Galactic Jellies right here to a friend for $2,000. Mr. Emmanuel sold his portrait for $500. But sometimes your friends and family network can run out, right? Put yes in the chat if you know that their friends and family network can run out. And so sometimes we need global exposure. I put global in the chat if you want to get collectors outside of your neighborhood, outside of your city and state, and access to the whole country. And some of y'all actually do want to go and sell your art overseas and go global. Okay. Put global in the chat, man, if you want to expand your collector network. Okay. Now, because of my experience buying ads on social media, I knew there was only one place I needed to go to get ready to buy collectors. And that's Instagram, right? Everybody got an Instagram account. It's a lot of art being sold on Instagram right now. And all we got to do is get in the flow of these sales of all of these collectors that's spending all this money. Okay. And so, man, we got artists using this process. And Chrissy, when she first started, she didn't have any experience selling art online. She had never advertised on Instagram or anything like that. And she said, okay, I'm about to cry right now. On my own way of selling, I would have gotten $200 for this piece. It would have taken me a while to even get that. So I followed the steps of this course. I made an ad. She said she spent $7. That's $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6, $7. And she sold a piece for $700. And it took her a few hours to sell. Okay. And so she got a $700 sale in just a few hours. Normally, man, she was selling her art for $200. So I want you to put your price point in there, okay? And type cents in the chat if it makes sense for you to invest $7.53 on ads and sell a piece for $700 or more. Put CENTS in the chat if that makes sense for you. All right. And her first week doing this, she was brand new to advertising. She made over $2,350 in the first 3 weeks. I see you with the worldwide news and the global in the chat. All right. We showing you the money now, Joseph. Let's get it. Okay. And so again, artists, always remember success leaves clues. If she can do it, you can as well. And so Forbes, when they first started selling art online, it said the Sotheby's $363.2 million sale, the art market passed the first major test of the pandemic. All right. They was really worried if people were still going to start selling, buying art, and they were. Okay. And then Business Insider, it said for now, the art world has gone digital. And for some, that's a good thing. And some, that's you and I, the affluent artist community, okay? It said Artsy, which is an online art marketplace, said they saw a 92% increase in e-commerce sales in April, and interest from galleries have increased by 60%, okay? And so when we want to start selling art online on Instagram, we need to go to, and we need to log inside the Facebook Ads Manager, okay? So if you don't know, Facebook owns Instagram, okay? And so these two red boxes, I want you to look at the top red box. So I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm in the US. So you should start in whatever country that you're in. You can go global as long as the country has Facebook and Instagram, but start in your country because it's going to be easier for you to just do the shipping, okay? Just to get started until you figure out the shipping in other countries. Now, if you look at the bottom left box, it says Sotheby's, okay? And so we saw the Forbes article that says Sotheby's had a $363.2 million sale. All right. So type yes in the chat if it makes sense to you to target those collectors that's spending millions of dollars with Sotheby's. I put a yes in the chat because that makes sense to me. If that makes sense to you, like it makes sense to me, all we got to do is click this green create ad button in the top right, and it's going to take us to a place called detailed targeting. All right. So artists, type the word financial in the chat. All right, I want to see the word financial coming in the chat, okay? When we go to the detailed targeting to target the Sotheby's brand, when we type the word financial in the chat, it's going to allow us to target the top 5% of collectors that make the most household income. It's going to allow us to target the top 10% of collectors with the most household income. And it allows us to target the top 10 to 50% of collectors with the most household income. All right, it's going to allow us to target those collectors that make the most money that like the Sotheby's brand. All right, put that financial in the chat. All right. Now, if you've never seen this before, and this is blowing your mind that you're seeing for the first time, that you can target collectors that's spending millions at Sotheby's and put your art ads in front of them, man, put wow in the chat, put a mind-blown emoji for me. Let me know in the chat if this is blowing your mind right now, the power of what you can do and how you can target high-income collectors on Instagram. All right, put the wow with a mind-blown emoji in the chat. All right, this is a game changer, okay? And so I'm going to show you a couple more examples to really bring this home, all right? And so we know Art Basel. I told you I went to Art Basel in Miami. It's one of the biggest art fairs in the world. And just think about how much money you got to spend to get to Art Basel, right? Man, you got to get a plane ticket. You got to get a hotel. You got to get a ticket to actually go to the convention center at the Miami Art Basel event. You got to pay for food and drinks while you're in Miami, right? And you got to buy the art, right? So it's a big investment to go to Miami Art Basel. Type yes in the chat if it makes sense to you to target those collectors that's spending all that money traveling to Art Basel and buying that art. All right, that makes sense to me. All right, type yes in the chat. And so we go to the detailed targeting section of Art Basel. If we put that financial layer on, we can target the wealthiest collectors that make the top 5% of household income that like Art Basel, okay? We can target the wealthiest collectors that make the top 10% of household income that like Art Basel. And we can target the collectors that make the top 10 to 50% of income that's spending all that money at Art Basel. I see you with the yes with all the S's. Let's get it. All right. This is game-changing information. And this is how we are getting high-income collectors on Instagram. Okay. All right. Let me show you one more to bring it home. So we saw the Business Insider article said Artsy had a 92% increase in online sales. Type yes in the chat if it makes sense to you to start targeting those collectors that's spending all that money buying art online on Artsy. All right, that makes sense to me. And so if we go to the detailed targeting section for Artsy, if we type in that word financial, we can target the collectors that make the top 5% income that's spending all that money on Artsy. We can target the collectors that make the top 10% of income. And we can target the collectors that make the top 10 to 50% of income that's buying all of this art on Artsy. All right, this is the power. We can do this with Facebook and Instagram. Okay, this is a game changer. And so when we do this, artists, now we have what I call the keys to success, because these collectors have two very important things that you need them to have to sell your art. So first, these collectors have the willingness to buy art, right? If you like Artsy, if you like Art Basel, if you like Sotheby's, I know you are an art lover like me, right? So that means you got the willingness to buy art. But when we add that financial layering on, now I know you have the ability to buy art because I can target the collectors that make the top 5% of the income. And so this type of access changes everything for us, okay? And so affluent artists are using this to sell art worldwide. So Nisha Kapoor, she's Indian. She says, Sharess, your system rocks. I got another celeb lead as a result of my ads, and we spoke on the phone, and the person is willing to buy. And she was the first artist to sell art in Indian rupees, okay? And then Miss Valerie, she's a senior and a grandmother. If she can sell over $3,250 from her Facebook ad, I know you can, because she didn't have a clue how to use any of these tools and technology, okay? And then Christy, she spent $45 on ads, and she made over $1,400 in a day and a half. Type yes in the chat if you like to make over $1,400 on a $45 ad spend, okay? So she said, I received over 800 likes, 200 comments, 100 shares, and about 300 messages, 14 sales, and 10 more possible leads, all right? Type yes in the chat if you want to be able to do this. These artists were just getting started with this. They didn't have a clue how to do this before they got started. And so if that's where you are, you can do it too. She said she's an affluent artist for life, okay? And then my man, affluent artist Joe Woods, he said this happened last night. So he sold a $2,000 piece from his art ads while he was asleep, all right? So listen, I like to wake up to money in my bank account. I don't necessarily want to go work for every dollar that I make, all right? So if you want to wake up to new sales, put sleep money in the chat. You can put the money bag emoji, put the emoji with the money tongue. You can put the bed with the money bag. Put sleep money in the chat if you want to wake up to art soul because you had your Instagram ads running 24/7 around the clock. I put that sleep money in the chat. I love when artists wake up to new sales, okay? And this happened last night. That's the power of having your art advertising for you 24/7 online, okay? And so now I'm showing you how to find wealthy, ready-to-buy collectors with AI and Instagram ads. As an affluent artist, can you see yourself using this secret to get high-paying collectors? Just type yes in the chat if you can see yourself using this to get high-paying collectors. If they can do it, I promise you, you can do it too, okay? We hold your hand and they show you exactly how to do this. And so artists, so far you discover how to create your art story to raise your prices. You discover how artwork makes it easy to share your art via text, email, or social media. You discover how to sell art to a worldwide collector marketplace. You discover how collectors can buy your art with one click, like they buying stuff on Amazon, all right? And you discover how to use that financial layer to target high-income collectors that's spending millions on art online, okay? And so knowing what you know now, do you feel more confident pricing your art? Just type yes in the chat. And are you happy you attended this live class today? We are live. Type yes in the chat. Are you happy you attended this class today? And do you realize the advantage you have as an artist using these techniques? Type yes in the chat. If you're here right now getting this wisdom, you are miles ahead of every other artist that's doing it the same old, hard, slow, and easy way, okay? And can you see yourself using this to sell more art? Just type yes in the chat if you think you can use this, okay? And can you see yourself using this to get new collectors like all of these other artists are doing? Just type yes in the chat if you can see yourself using this system to get new collectors. All right, so artists, now you got two choices to make, okay? So first, you can do this on your own. And I know we got some brilliant artists listening to me right now. And so that's a worthy option to pursue. I see the yeses coming through. I see the yes with all the S's. You can do this on your own, okay? but it might be a little more challenging depending on your habits, depending on, if you procrastinate, man, you might need some help, okay? And so choice number 2 is you can have me and my team responsible for your success, and we're guaranteed to help you get 10 or more new collectors every single month coming to you, okay? This system is this powerful. And so would this transform your life? I see the yeses coming through in the chat. If you follow what I showed you in secret number 1 and use any art story so your art sells itself on Instagram, then you did what I revealed in secret number 2, so you can use the artwork app to easily sell more of your art. And then you use secret number 3 to get access to the same high-paying collectors on Instagram that the rich auction houses and galleries attract. Do you think you can be successful? Type yes in the chat if you think you can be successful following this 3-step process like all of these other artists did here today, okay? Type yes in the chat. And would you like my help? Just type yes in the chat if you would love for me to help you. I want to see the yeses coming through. All right. Awesome. Okay. And so I want to introduce you to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. It is a fun and easy 5-step system for visual artists to raise prices and get 10 or more new collectors every month online. Okay. And so part number 1 is the Affluent Artist Masterclass. I got 5 simple steps. Step number 1 is mindset. This is what we help you with. We call it a millionaire mindset. So you can get rid of any starving artist broke ways of being, okay? Step number 2 is price. This is where we teach you our luxury pricing method so you can raise your prices and charge your work. Step number 3 is sold. This is where we teach our cash collectors framework so you can start selling art to collectors right away without spending any money on ads. Step number 4 is collectors. This is where we show you how to create your own collector community that you build a direct relationship with so they continue to buy art from you over and over again for your entire career, okay? And then step number 5 is marketing. This is where we show you how to use Instagram ads and put that financial layer on so you can target those high-income collectors that's already spending millions on art with brands like Sotheby's, Art Basel, and Artsy, okay? And so I want to share my guy's Christian testimony, man, because he was about to give up on his dream of being an artist until he became an affluent artist. And so listen to him share his story and how he had a transformation when he applied this system.
Yeah, what's up, y'all? It's Christian Lamar here, and I'm a portrait artist from VA. Now, I just want to tell y'all why I joined the Affluent Artist Masterclass. I went to a great art school and learned from some phenomenal artists, but they never taught me how to sell my work. So after I graduated, I struggled, to the point of almost wanting to give up on my dream of being a professional artist. Well, this course changed all of that. It showed me how to turn my art into a business, and most importantly, how to sell online. So now I can sell to anyone, anywhere. And the results are super quick. I made my first sale within 30 hours of starting the program and made just under $1,500 within the first 5 days. And now that I'm in week 4, I've made just over $4,000. And it's super easy to follow. If you're like me and you're ready to fulfill your dreams of being a professional artist, give the program a shot. And you also get to join a community of artists that share their experiences every day of what works. So join me and the family and become an affluent artist today. All right. Peace.
Shout out to my guy, Christian Lamar, man. First sale in 30 hours of the program, $1,500 in the first week, over $4,000 in his first month. All right, he's rocking and rolling. And he said it's super easy to follow, okay? And so this works for you if you are a painter, a sculptor, if you do acrylic pours, jewelry, photography, mixed media, digital art, drawings, ceramics, collage, furniture, clothes, murals, metalworks, wearable art. It works for all affluent artists at all price points, okay? And so shout out to Miss Joy, man. She used this system and she got a $4,000 cash sale in Canada. Again, we help artists all over the world with this. Type yes in the chat if you love to get $4,000 cash on your table like Miss Joy here, okay? And so one thing about the affluent artist community, we always tell the truth about making money. We don't tell no lies about selling any art, okay? And so when artists, if they get a screenshot of a sale, they'll screenshot it, or if it's cash on the table, they take a picture of that money so we can see it, okay? Ain't nothing like seeing that cash on the table. Also, this works for you even if your art isn't ready. Remember, I showed you earlier how Jasmine pre-sold a print of an original that she wasn't even done with. So she was still working on this Chadwick Boseman Black Panther piece, and she posted that she was still working on it, and she saw the pre-order print at 9 a.m. She said, gratitude, art story on organic conversation, building relationships really work, okay? And so again, don't think you need to have some complete series of work done before you start making money. You can make money first, use that money to buy your supplies and invest into what you need to get the art done, okay? And so when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass, and that's a total value of over $5,000, okay? Then part number 2 is you're going to get an Artwork Gold account. I want you to imagine collectors buying from anywhere. We showed you how I went to Barbados, helping those artists access a global marketplace of collectors. And like Jen here, she said, I'm happy and grateful to have sold this piece. I'm going to supersize my fries tonight. Type yes in the chat if you want to sell a piece for over $2,700 on artwork. All right. Imagine your new life just selling art anywhere. I love how Miss Yvonne, the collectors, they bought this piece for their young collector, getting them started in collecting art early, okay? Man, this is a fabulous, fabulous system, and artists are using this to sell art to collectors globally. And so when you get your Artwork Gold account, you'll be able to accept payments up to $1 million. You can easily sell art anywhere, whether that's in person at a show or online. You can track your art, your sales, and collectors information in one place. Collectors can buy your art with one click like they buying on Amazon. And collectors can track your net worth of your art so they see when you increase your value as an artist, okay? And you also can get rid of some stuff, all right? So if you got a website that's not helping you make any money, you can get rid of that, all right? You can cut them website fees out. You can save money on that. If you still doing business with Venmo, Cash App, Zelle, and other tools, you can stop using these tools as well, because some collectors don't want to spend certain dollar amounts with you if they don't get a receipt, okay? Also, if you're using apps like Artsy, Etsy, Art Storefront, and paying for these fees, if you're not selling any art with them, you can get rid of that as well. Shopify, Artwork Archive, Fine Art America, these marketplaces, if you're not selling any art, you can stop paying those fees and save that money, all right? And the most important savings is that lost time trying to figure this stuff out on your own, when we got a step-by-step system that'll help you bring collectors to you 24/7 on autopilot, okay? And so again, as an artist, when I first started, I didn't know how to manage my art sales in one place or track how much my collectors spent, all right? I also didn't have a global marketplace where collectors could buy with one click. So I had to create artwork for myself. And so you're going to save time and money using this system and using artwork, all right? 6 years ago, I spent over $60K in 3 years figuring out how to create an app to solve this problem so you don't have to, all right? So I don't want you recreating the wheel. So I'm going to give you an Artwork Gold account with this package so you can skip the cost, the trial, and the error. All right, cool? Type cool in the chat or type yes in the chat. That's cool with you, okay? And again, artists are selling art fast on artwork. Tierra uploaded some of her art. She said about 30 minutes ago, I got a notification that one of my pieces sold. She was still in shock at how quick the sale happened. She said, this is a game changer for us as artists, okay? And if you're not tech savvy, that's not a problem, man. We've designed artwork to be so simple that a child can use it and be successful, okay? And so when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass, and you're going to get that Artwork Gold account, and that's a $6,200 value, all right? And then part number 3 is the Affluent Artist community. So we literally have a real community of artists where not only do we help each other online to sell our art, man, we also meet up in person. We go to shows, we do shows. Like, we've got a real bond and a real community that loves to help you sell your art, all right? And so our global network of artists and collectors love serving, and they all want to see you succeed. So when you join today, you get access to our private Affluent Artist School community. This gives you the knowledge, community, encouragement, and the motivation you need to succeed in your art career. You can access the program and community anytime from anywhere in the world, plus you get unlimited support. So we got 24/7 school group access. Plus we have a live weekly sales sessions call to make sure you get all of your questions answered, okay? And so another thing I really love about the community is we got artists like San Yu. She was 9 when she joined, like her mom enrolled her into the program. And San Yu is getting money selling art, right? And this is me with her and her mom when I got to meet them in Atlanta at a show, right? San Yu's making art. So when you start seeing young artists 9-year-old printing money, you know, you like, man, I know I can do it too, right? It really just destroys any kind of excuses that you have in your mind. Same thing on the opposite end. Miss Phyllis, she was 73 when she joined, and she made a sale in her first week. She said, I introduced myself, showed a few images, watched the welcome videos, and the collector practice videos, and I sold 2 drawings, okay? And so just imagine being a part of a community of artists that love helping you 24/7. So like my guy Sean, he said, lesson learned, follow up every time. You never know why somebody ghosts you. I thought maybe my price was too high for her and she was gone for good. Don't make up your own stories as to why they didn't call back. Just follow up and be polite. That's real game right there, okay? And so when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You're going to get your Artwork Gold account, and you become a member of the Affluent Artist community, and that's a $7,400 value, all right? And then also, artists are using this system to sell art for $10,000 or more, like Isha right here. So she said, sold custom creation. She got this commission installed. It's 5-panel commission, absolutely beautiful. She sold this to 10K. And so these are the kind of results that you can start getting when you start targeting these higher income collectors on Instagram, all right? And so if all this did was help your art tell stories so your artwork truly sold itself, how would that help your art career? Let me know in the chat how that would help your career, okay? And if all this did was help you easily sell your art online in any economy, like how would that help your art career, right? And if all this did was help you get an infinite amount of high-paying collectors following you and buying your artwork, how would that help your career? All right, so artists, we're putting this program together. I had 2 choices. My first option was I could go as cheap as possible and try to sell as many as possible, but that wouldn't incentivize me to really stack the value. And so the second option, it required a little higher investment. But in exchange, we can devote more resources to guarantee your success, okay? And so you got to let me know in the chat, what are your dreams worth to you, all right? If you were making money every day because you were successfully selling your art to collectors on Instagram, what would that be worth to you? Let me know in the chat. How much would you pay to have one automated collector system sell your art online 24/7? All right. And so you can see why artists have paid $10,000 for similar results with me, because it's not a cost, it is an investment. All right. And so you see why it's worth over 10K. But even at 5K for the general public, it's still a great deal. We showed you Brisha, Isha, Jen, so many different artists, Jasmine, selling art for over $5,000. Okay. But because you watch this masterclass and I want to help as many artists as possible, listen, we got a very, very special offer for the artists that are here live. All right. When you go to affluentartist.com, you won't have to invest anywhere near 5K. All right. That's the regular price. Now, normally if we give a deal, we may take 30% off and it'll be $3,500, but you won't have to invest anywhere near that today either. All right. We got a special 94% off for only $9.99 when you go to affluentartist.com. All right. And also, I'm excited to announce that it's so affordable. We got a partnership with Afterpay, Affirm, and Klarna that all artists can get started for as little as $47.96 per month. All right, it is a drop in the bucket to get started for less than $50 when you go to affluentartist.com, okay? And if you need help ordering, you can text JOIN to 470-777-7549. Let me put this in the chat for you to make it easy to click for the artists that are on mobile. Let me go ahead and send that. Let me pin that message to the top for you all right? And so you can go to affluentartist.com, get enrolled right now. Man, if you want to use the financing option, we have buy now, pay later with Affirm, Afterpay, and Klarna. And so I know Klarna, they have a 24-month payment plan for only $47.96. So you literally can get enrolled for less than $50 by going to affluentartist.com. This is a game changer of a deal. Man, we got it down to as an affordable of a price as we possibly could, because we wanted every artist to be able to take advantage of this, okay? So, man, if you need to come up with the $50, listen, you can ask a family member or a friend. You can use what you learned today to sell art, but make sure you get enrolled in this, man. It is super, super affordable to make sure you get in here and you can start selling some art quickly, like Kira sold art in the first 19 hours. Christian sold art in the first 30 hours. He sold $1,500 in the first few days, 4K in his first month. Man, so many different artists selling art for over $5,000. Brisha for over $6,000. She got multiple sales, man. Isha for over 10K. We wanted to make this affordable, give you access to this system. So you can use the buy now, pay later option when you enroll at affluentartist.com. All right, if you got a question, type it in the chat. If you need help ordering, our team will call you once we're done. You can text JOIN to 470-777-7549, okay? And so if you're tired of putting time and skill into your art only for buyers to continue lowballing you and not respecting the true value of your art. We got some fast action bonuses as well for artists that join today. All right. So bonus number one is that luxury pricing method. And that's $1,000 value of the bonus itself. Okay. And so this is the luxury pricing method is what Christy used. She was a single mom. She watched this class that you're on right now, and she made over $1,350 in the first 5 days. All right. So she made her money back within the first week. And she was so impressed. She said, holy smokes. I reached out to an old friend and supporter of my art and landed a $1,000 mural job. The system works. I was thinking of asking $800. I was hoping for $600, but I boldly asked $1,000 and she didn't hesitate. And so you know it's serious when people start saying stuff like, holy smokes, okay? So we are absolutely transforming artists live. You can enroll at affluentartist.com. And then Jen here, she used the luxury pricing method to sell this piece for over $5,840. And she just started putting the crying emoji. She was so happy about the sale, okay? And then Brisha Jones. So I showed you how she used the art story. That's just one component to the luxury pricing method. And this is how she was able to sell Fearless Expanded for over $6,209 a month. Hey, no, it's if you want to join with the financing, it's $47.96 per month with Klarna, all right? But you can choose any payment plan that works for you when you go to affluentartist.com, okay? I'm going to show you how to check out here towards the end of the presentation. But if you click the link, go to affluentartist.com. We have, it's $9.99, all right, if you pay in full. But if you want to get financing through Affirm, Afterpay, or Klarna, you can get started for less than $50, all right? It'll be $47.96 per month if you choose the 24-month option with Klarna, okay? And so get access to that at affluentartist.com, all right? And so I want you to imagine your confidence skyrocketing because your art story has collectors emotionally invested in buying your art at any price. This becomes your new reality when you become an affluent artist, okay? And so when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You're going to get access to the Artwork Gold account. You become a member of the Affluent Artist community, and you're going to get that luxury pricing method, all right? That's a total value of over $8,400 when you enroll at affluentartist.com. Bonus number two, we have what we call the automated collector system. This is a $1,200 value, all right? So we pre-built a website sales funnel template for you that we're going to give you. All you got to do is swap out your art, your words, and the videos, and collectors are going to come to you 24/7 to ask you about buying your art. All right, this is a big part of the system that we use. We give this to you, okay? And so if you don't have a website right now, good, we got you covered. If you don't have a simple process to bring collectors to you, to get them on your email list and buy your art, we built this system for you. We're going to give it to you as a free bonus when you join today, okay? And so this is the same system that Christy used. She invested $45 in ads, and she made $1,400 in a day and a half, all right? She said she got over 800 likes on her ad, over 200 comments, over 100 shares, and about 300 messages from collectors asking her to buy her art, all right? Again, we want collectors coming to us to buy our art. We don't want to be chasing anybody, okay? And so in a day and a half, she sold over 14 pieces of art, and she had 10 more collectors that were ready to buy, all right? And so I know many artists, they suffer from feast or famine income where you sell art some months and some months you don't sell at all. I spent years investing time and money testing which art ads and sales pages work best to turn clicks to collectors so you can have collectors coming to you 24/7 when you enroll at affluentartist.com, all right? And so when we get an endless flow of new interested collector leads, joining your email list and buying your art 24/7, this gives you the predictable cash to grow your art brand and collector community while sales come in at the same time, all right? And so again, man, this is such a powerful system. When Miss Anitra set up her automated collector system, she sent me a message in the middle of the night. She said, Sharess, I truly apologize, and normally I wouldn't send a message this late, but I couldn't hold back the excitement. 19 total collector opportunities and 2 scheduled collector calls. And then she sent a message the following day. She said, by the way, your girl is up to 37 leads, 3 collector appointments, and a lot of great comments about what inspired them to get the download. And just this past weekend on Saturday on our sales sessions call, Miss Anitra had over 277 new interested collectors that came to her to buy her art, all right? So this system absolutely flat out works. when you enroll at affluentartist.com, and you're going to get it as a free bonus, okay? And so if you already have a website that's not selling how you like, listen, you can keep it to save that money, or you can keep it if you want it because you built it, or you can get rid of it and save on the website fees, all right? You can use ours to get new collectors coming to buy your art every day like clockwork, all right? So again, when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You get access to the Artwork Gold account. You become a member of the Affluent Artist community, and you're going to get some powerful bonuses when you get started right now, all right? Bonus number 1 is that luxury pricing method. Bonus number 2 is that automated collector system. That's a total value of over $9,600 when you enroll at affluentartist.com, okay? And then bonus number 3, man, you're going to be able to hop on with me live to find your high-income collectors, all right? This is a $1,000 value. And so if you want to get those collectors that spend millions on art, on brands like Sotheby's, Artsy, Art Basel, that's just the tip of the iceberg. If they got a brand on Instagram and we can target them, we can access their collectors, okay? And so I'm going to show you how to find your high-income collectors and set your art ads up to make sure you do it right the first time, okay? And so many artists, they struggle to get exposure to collectors that can afford their art at the price you think is worth. And so I spent over $250,000 on Instagram ads, figuring out the best way to target buyers with money. And so you get instant access to what's working right now with Instagram ads and AI when you enroll at affluentartist.com, okay? And so again, I showed you earlier how we targeting brands like Sotheby's. We know Sotheby's, they're selling billions of dollars worth of art every single year. And so we can get in front of those collectors that's spending millions of dollars worth of art, all right? We put that financial layering on. We can target the top 5% of income earners that like Sotheby's, okay? The top 10% and the top 10 to 50% of income earners. This is a game changer right here. And so you're going to be able to get exposed to collectors that got disposable cash to pay for your art at high prices. You'll be able to leverage AI to target the best collectors for your style, and you'll be able to predictably get new collectors 24/7 with your ads, okay? And then when you start targeting collectors that got money, man, some incredible things starts to happen. So Jen, she got another deposit for a commission. It's a $4,369 commission. She said, I just threw out a random number and they said, can they pay it in 3, all right? And so when you start targeting collectors with money, these kind of things happen, man. You can start testing out new prices and people going to want to pay it because of your art story, and you targeted a collector that actually has the resources to buy it, okay? And so same thing with Jasmine. When she started this process, she had a goal to sell $5,000 for the month so she could actually quit her job and go full-time as an artist, okay? And so what ended up happening, though, because she was targeting high-income collectors, she ended up making over $5,527 in the first week, all right? So again, she had a $5K monthly goal, but she sold over $5,500 in the first week. And you can get access to this bonus for free. And hop on with me to find your high-income collectors when you join at affluentartist.com, all right? And so artists are using this process to make sales every day. Like my man Dwayne right here, Sean Moki, Miss Valerie selling art. She said, I'm speechless. She said, this was my week 2 goal. She said, I'm blessed. Miss Phyllis, she's selling art. They both 50 plus in the program. And so artists, if you wanted us to hold your hand in person, we have what we call the $1 Million Artist Mastermind. This is a $25,000 value, okay? And so if you wanted to meet with us in person 3 times a year in Atlanta to get your hand held building out this system, making sure you had collectors coming to you, right? It's a $25K investment, but you can join at affluentartist.com and you can get enrolled for less than $50 if you use one of our financing partners to get started today, all right? So you literally have a $25K value working with us online in our community, and you can get started for less than $50 when you enroll at affluentartist.com, all right? Now, if you were to go back to art school or hire an online marketing agency or attempt to get a dealer to sell your work to collectors for you, it might cost you over $100,000 in tuition, 50% of your profits giving it to a dealer or a gallery, or years of your life trying to figure this stuff out. When you can skip all of that, you can save the $100K, you can keep all of your money, and you can get access to a step-by-step system that's working right now when you enroll at affluentartist.com, okay? And so even if you finance it with Klarna, that's only $1.60 per day to start selling your art online, right? That's like a breakfast sandwich at McDonald's just to get started selling your art with us, okay? Klarna has an incredible financing option. It's only $47.60 per month to get started. So you literally can get started for $1.60 per day to start selling your art online to high income collectors. Okay. And so artists, now you got two choices. Again, you can use this wisdom and do this on your own. And we got some brilliant artists here. So I know that's a very worthy option to pursue. Okay. Choice number two, though, if you want to guarantee your success, you can have us responsible for helping you sell art. And we're going to help you get 10 or more new collectors monthly with the Affluent Artist Automated Collector System. Okay. And we're so confident in our ability to help you do this that we have a 110% money back guarantee. And so if you sign up now, if Affluent Artist does not help you sell more art and get more collectors, you'll have two very simple options. Option number one, you follow the steps, decide it's not for you, and you can win 110% of your money back. All right. Option number two, you will grow an Affluent Artist, and we will personally help you get 10 or more new collectors every single month when you enroll at affluentartist.com. Now, why do we do this? Listen, we do it for a very selfish reason, and that's because I know it's a win-win. This 110% money back guarantee makes it a no-brainer for you to join, and I know we can help you succeed, okay? And so when you sign up, I know for a fact, one of these two things will happen. One, you will get 10 or more new collectors every month with the system, or you will win $1,100 from us just for trying it out as a thank you for giving it a shot, okay? And so we do have a few qualifications to get the 110% money back guarantee. All right, you do actually have to do something. So first, you got to earn the 100% completion by watching the Affluent Artist Masterclass. Second, you got to take action on the information in the Affluent Artist Masterclass. And we also want you to attend the live sales sessions every week so we can answer your questions instead of you being stuck at home trying to figure out what to do on your own, okay? And also, the goal is for you to sell art. All right, we want you to sell art and make some money, and then share your results on social media. All right. And so again, when you work with us, your profit is guaranteed. Option one, you follow the steps. For whatever reason, you don't like getting a whole bunch of collectors 24/7 on autopilot. You decide it's not for you. You can win your money back. All right. Option number two, you say, Sharess, listen, I really want to grow as an affluent artist. I want to hit my revenue goals. I want to have collectors coming to me on autopilot. I want to get 10 or more new collectors every month. You can join us at affluentartist.com, okay? And so the real question you got to ask, is it worth taking a few minutes just to check this out? Because even if it does half of what I say today, it will pay for itself as soon as you sell one painting for $1,000, all right? It is really, really simple, man. We're excited to enroll. Congrats to everybody that's joining. You are just one collector away from your life completely changing, okay? When you get one high-income collector, man, some of these collectors start to buy your entire portfolio. Some of these collectors, they continue to buy from you over and over again to support you in your craft. And so you just one high income collector away from really your entire life changing, okay? And so when you join today, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You're going to get access to the Artwork Gold account. You become a member of the Affluent Artist community. We also got some free bonuses as well, all right? Bonus number one is that luxury pricing method, so you can charge your worth. Bonus number two is that automated collector system. So collectors will come to you 24/7. And then when you, bonus number three, you'll be able to find your collectors with me, okay? You can hop on with me. We're going to find your high income collectors and help you set your ads up to make sure you get that done correctly, all right? That's a total value of over $10,600, but you can join for a fraction of that when you go to affluentartist.com. Remember, if you finance with Klarna or one of our partners, you can get in for less than $50, all right? Now, artists, if you see this intentionally blank slide right here, this is an editing marker, okay? I put this slide in here to let me know to cut out what I'm about to say next, okay? Because you are here live, we're going to give you a free lifetime artwork account, all right? That's a $1,200 a year value. This Artwork Gold account, we're going to give it to you free for a lifetime. This is worth more than the investment in the program, all right? So it's normally $99 a month. It's going to be free for you forever. You'll be able to upload unlimited art. You'll be able to access collectors globally. Many artists sell within the first 7 days. You saw how Tiara said she uploaded some art. She got a notification within 30 minutes, and she was really surprised at how quick the sale happened. And so again, when you start accessing high-income collectors, you're just one collector away from really transforming your life, all right? And so that's only for artists that buy live. If you buy before the end of this live class, we're going to give you a free lifetime Artwork Gold account when you enroll at affluentartist.com, okay? So artists, get started right now, man. We're excited to have you inside the program. Enroll at affluentartist.com. When you join today, you're going to get access to the 5-step Affluent Artist Masterclass. You get access to the Artwork Gold account. You become a member of the Affluent Artist community. You're going to get that luxury pricing method bonus. You get that automated collector system bonus, and you'll be able to find your high income collectors with me. All right. That's a total value of over $10,600. We got a special 94% off for only $9.99 when you get enrolled at affluentartist.com. And again, we have partnerships with Afterpay, Affirm, and Klarna. So you can get started for only $47.96 per month if you use the Klarna payment plan. All right. So we wanted to make this super affordable so all artists could get access to this information, this system, and this community. So go to affluentartist.com, use the financing option. You can get started for less than $48 today, man. If you need help ordering, text JOIN to 470-777-7549. All right. And so again, artists are using this to make sales every day. Like my guy, Blue Robin right here. This was his first sale for a canvas print. Diana, she said, happy Friday when she getting paid. Dwayne sold another piece right here. Santana sold a piece. Mr. Bill said he just got paid. He's shipping tomorrow. Artists are using this to make sales every day. All right. Now, at this point, I see some artists have signed up, and that makes me happy, man. Excited about the artists that have joined. Congratulations to the artists that enroll. Some of you are still here, though, so I can tell you getting ready to sign up, but you have a question that you need answered first before making that decision. All right. So let's address those questions in the time that we have left. If you got a question, we are live. Type your question in the chat. I would love to serve you and help you, okay? Some artists want to know, what if I already have a website? And so if you aren't making sales on your website, you can send all of your collectors to Artwork and use our automated collector system so you can eliminate hosting costs and those monthly fees, all right? Do collectors need an Artwork account? So collectors can buy as a guest, but we encourage them to get an Artwork account so they can track their art collection. How do I afford the investment? So it's a great question. Some artists want to know, hey, Sherez, listen, I really want to join. I need to figure out how to get the investment. So there's several things you can do. One, you can start pre-selling your art like Jasmine did. So again, I've shown you how you can use secret number one, the power of your art story, to start posting your art on social media. So if you've just been posting, putting like hashtags and saying email or DM me for price, but you haven't been putting your stories, literally apply what you learned today to your new post, and you can start selling art today. All right. You can do it just like Jasmine. So she said, I posted this piece that I'm still working on last night, and I sold a pre-order print 9 a.m. this morning. Gratitude, art story, and organic conversation building relationships really work. All right. How do I make the time? So Brisha Jones, she's a single mom, and she used our success block to make the time to sell her art. Okay. And so she sold this $2,572 commission right here using the power of the success block. And so the success block principle is simple. Most artists wait to the end of the day to work on their art business. Okay. The problem with that is you woke up, you taking care of friends and family, you helping everybody else, you go to work all day, and you come home and you tired, right? If you do the morning success block, wake up an hour or two earlier and give the first part of your morning to your art business, okay? And so this allows you to give the most refreshed, best version of yourself to your goals and your dreams. And when you start doing it like this, you're going to start to see your career climb, because you literally are devoting the best possible version of yourself to getting your dreams done, okay? Some artists want to know, can I do this from anywhere in the world? And so Miss Joy is in Canada. As long as you got Wi-Fi and the internet, you can absolutely do this, okay? So just like Miss Joy got this $4,000 cash on the table, you can do this too, okay? From anywhere in the world. I'm in the US. As long as you got the internet, you can join and access the program and Artwork, all right? What if I'm just getting started? So I actually think if you're just getting started, that is the perfect place to be, because you don't have any bad habits to unlearn, right? And one of my favorite stories that illustrates this is how Tiara, she became an affluent artist. She started selling art. Her sister's Jasmine, right? So they joined the program together. And her kids, they were so inspired by their mom selling art that they wanted to start selling art as well. And so her boys, when they started, they were only 2, 5, and 7 years old. And so she taught them about financing, how to take profit, creating a mission statement, buying supplies, setting goals, and creating their art stories. And so these kids, again, they were 2, 5, and 7 years old. They had a goal to make $250, but with the support of their friends and family, they made over $500. All right. And so she said she's beyond proud of them. I'm proud of them too. And so you just getting started like a 2-year-old, you can absolutely do this when you go to affluentartist.com. Okay. Some artists want to know, is the process too hard or too technical? So absolutely not. All right. We've simplified this as much as possible. There is some technology, but we hold your hand setting it up to make sure you do it correctly. And so if Miss Valerie can do it at 68 and she sold over $10,000 in the first 4 months, you can do it too when you enroll at affluentartist.com. Okay. And so artists, as we close out, if you got a question, type your question in the chat. Sometimes we got to get the resources or be resourceful. Okay. And so when Miss Stacy, when she joined, she was having some financial issues as well. All right. But she figured out how to get the money. And again, you can use our financing at affluentartist.com to do the buy now, pay later. But she was so excited when she joined because she said, yes, it works. She said, I made a call to a friend and said she wanted these paintings. She said, I told them that they were done. She could buy 1 for $250 or 3 for $6. And she took all 3. All right. She was so excited that the system worked for her. And one of the things that continues to happen to artists that's in the affluent artist community is like when you get around winners, man, you just start winning and you start selling more art and more opportunities begin to open up. And so Miss Stacy, she went from having financial issues, trying to figure out how she was going to get the resources to join, to next thing you know, she's doing art exhibits at hotels, right? So she had some of her art at the launch of the Phoenix Hotel because she lives in Phoenix, Arizona, man. So it's a powerful, powerful opportunity when you enroll at affluentartist.com, okay? Some artists want to know, is there too much competition? So listen, as an artist and a collector, man, if you know collectors, man, they buying all kind of art from all type of artists. And so there's really no such thing as competition to collectors, man. They just want fly art. And so like Miss Tasha sold this piece for over $10,026. Diana got the piece sold for $428. There's more than enough abundance for all of us when you enroll at affluentartist.com, okay? And then what is the artwork commission? Artwork gets 10% of the sale. But more important than that, you get to keep your collector data, all right? I know sometimes when you do business with galleries and dealers, they usually take 25 to 50% of your price, and they often do not give you the collector's data. The reason they do that is because they don't want you to cut them out of their commission, okay? And so we actually want you to have direct access to your collectors so you can continue to sell more art. So we give you all of your data. Those are your collectors. That's your information, okay? And then what budget do I need for ads? So you can get started with as little as $10 per day, okay? Now, we love to test out new ads at $10 a day just to see how well they're working. But when you start getting collectors and they start buying your art, you want to increase your ad spend, okay? Because the more you spend on ads, the more collectors come to you. The more collectors come to you, the more art that you sell, okay? And so artists, if you got a question, type a question in the chat. As we get ready to roll out, we are live. I love to answer questions. I stay as long as we have questions. And so I just want to share with you, man, listen, wherever you're working right now, being a full-time artist beats working a 9 to 5, man. When you start connecting with collectors direct, and you start selling these commissions for thousands of dollars, or like Isha got that $2,000 piece, $10,000 piece, or how Mia got this $2,000 piece right here, man, it beats working a 9 to 5 because your income is really unlimited when you start selling your art, all right, when you enroll at affluentartist.com. And also, man, I love the affluent artist community because it's that support that creates those success habits. And so we got a real community of real people that love helping you sell your art, and they always sharing what's working to help them get sales, to make sure all of us are selling and living in abundance, okay? And so if you're here right now and you've been searching for information on how to sell your art, if you've been on Google, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, if you've been reading books, if you've been going to shows and listening to artist talks, man, you know information alone is not enough, all right? You need a system, you need a process, you need a team, you need mentorship, you need somebody to hold your hand, you need a community of people to encourage you, okay? And so if you want to start selling art like Toya and getting booked and busy, go to affluentartist.com and enroll today. All right. We look forward to seeing you on the inside. And so artists, as we close out again, you got to ask yourself, what do you want? Do you want money? Right? Do you want to sell art and start living in the abundance? Or do you want the excuses that you've been holding on to as your reason why you can't do this? Okay. Because when you go to affluentartist.com, you can start selling art for $2K or more, like my guy Jonte Drew right here, because he said he wanted money. He's like, man, I'm done with the excuses. I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to find a way or make a way, okay? And so he enrolled in affluentartist.com, and just like everybody else, man, he started selling art quickly, okay? And so artists, one of the things that I realize many artists don't calculate is the true cost of inaction. All right, you got to ask yourself, what will it cost me to stay where I am today and continue having these problems that I've been having selling my art? All right. And so you got to ask yourself, like, what if it helped you start selling just one piece per week? I don't even know your price, right? Even if you just getting started and you selling art for $100, right? Would that be worth $1.60 per day? Absolutely, it would. Okay. But then artists, what's the true cost of inaction? What is it going to cost you if you miss out on months of art sales? Okay. Right now it's May. You got June, July, August. If you go the next 2, 3, 4 months or go to the end of the year and you not selling art, each one of those months you miss, they equate to income that you miss, right? And so if your goal is to get to $5,000 a month or $10,000 a month or more, right? You literally could be missing out on $5K in sales, $10,000 in sales, selling a $5,000 piece of art like Brescia Jones, selling a $6,000 piece of art like Brescia, selling a $5,800 piece of art like Jen, selling a $10,000 piece like Isha, okay? Setting a goal to make $5K a month so you can go full time, or missing out on selling $5,500 in the first week like Jasmine, right? That's the cost of inaction. Procrastination has a cost, okay? And so if you follow just one of the steps I shared on today's event, you can make a profit in the first week when you enroll at affluentartist.com, all right? It is not worth missing months of art sales because you're trying to save $1.60 per day, all right? Enroll at affluentartist.com. We're excited to serve you and see you on the inside. Another way that you can get the investment is to ask your family and friends, okay? Many artists do that, and when they join, man, your family and friends, in my experience, they love supporting you when you actually got a plan and a community supporting you, okay? And so Miss Valerie said, I finished this today, posted it 3 hours ago, and I sold it to a collector, okay? And then Miss Kelly, she got to sell her first week in the program, all right? Also, PayPal can invest into you as well. Many artists use PayPal credit to get the investment in the program, all right? So PayPal credit has a great option. They have no payments plus no interest if you pay it in full in 6 months. All right. So you join today, you go to paypal.com/credit to apply. You'll know within seconds if you are approved. Okay. So you literally got 6 months to become an affluent artist. Go through the program, set all the systems up, start selling your art, and then you can pay PayPal back and tell them thank you for investing into your education. Okay. And so again, we also have partnerships with Affirm, Afterpay, and Klarna. You can choose your own payment plan, but the most affordable plan, Klarna has a 24-month payments of $47.96. All right. So you literally can join for less than $48 a month to get access to the Affluent Artist Automated Collector System when you join at affluentartist.com. Okay. And so, artists, the time is now. All right. As we get ready to close out, if you got a question, post it in the chat. All right. I'll stay as long as we have questions. But man, if you're ready to start selling art like Miss Raquel West here, she said, after connecting with Sherez and noting and actively implementing the wisdom that I learned without negotiation or hesitation, this collector purchased this piece at my $1,200 asking price. I am beyond grateful for the knowledge and the quick turnaround. All right. And so she was struggling to sell her art at the prices that she wanted. Right. She said, so often I've been told that my prices are too high. And after so much time and money spent on coaching and marketing, trying to find my target audience, I was still struggling to make the high ticket sales that I wanted. But as soon as I gave her the game, she started selling art at her asking prices. And she said she was so grateful for the knowledge and the quick turnaround. All right. This is the same system that you get access to when you become an affluent artist at affluentartist.com. All right. So let's accomplish your dreams together, artists, because I know as a fellow artist, that struggle with selling art is real, man. When you selling some art some months, but then you got crickets other months. Man, imagine when that's gone from your life. Like, how will you feel? Like, how much better will your life be when you get some consistency with your art sales? All right. We like to have predictable art sales that's coming in every month. That's why we got that automated collector system. And so how much stress is working a job and never having enough money causing your mind and your body right now? All right. Because after you join, that's gone, right? It's like poof. Can you feel that difference? All right. Because it starts by going to the link below and joining now at affluentartist.com. And so let's walk through the checkout process together. Okay. So I want you to get started. I'm going to come out real quick. When you go to affluentartist.com, it's going to bring you to our order form. Okay. You see it says, yes, Sharess, I'm in. You have a little bit over 72 hours to access this deal at the special price before it goes back to the $5,000 full price. Okay, we're going to recap the offer. You're backed by 110% money back guarantee. In the order, all you got to do is put your first and last name in, your email, your phone number, enter your address, and then choose your payment option. Okay, so we got the Affluent Artist 94% off for $9.99. Again, you can use Klarna, Affirm, or Afterpay. Klarna has this great deal for 24 payments for $47.96 per month. It's a great deal. You can choose any payment option, but that is the most affordable one. You also use Affirm and Afterpay, okay? And then some artists, they want us to hold their hand every week. And so we also added a one-to-one help option, all right? And that's a 4K investment if you want one-to-one help. But also if you use Klarna for that, it's also affordable. They have 24 payments of $192, and then Affirm also has a really good 36-month option for $138 every single month, $138.64. All right, so very affordable options with the financing. Choose which option works best for you. All right, and we'll see you on the inside. So after you choose your payment option, click join now. If you want to use a card, you can input your 16-digit card number, your 2-digit month and year for the expiration, the 3-digit CVC, enter your country, enter your zip code, click join now. All right. So again, you can use Klarna, you can use your card, Affirm, Afterpay. We have several ways that you can join the program, all right, and get started today. Okay. So again, Affluent Artists, get started now. Congratulations to everybody that's joined. If you got a question, type your question in the comments. And so we're excited, man. I'm gonna do another recap. I don't see any questions, so I'll be getting up out of here soon. So when you join today, though, you're going to get access to the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You're going to get access to the Artwork Gold account. You become a member of the Affluent Artist community. You're going to get that luxury pricing method bonus so you can charge your worth and get paid what your art deserves. Bonus number 2, you're going to get that automated collector system so we can get collectors coming to you 24/7 on autopilot from Instagram. And then bonus number 3, you'll be able to find your collectors with me. All right. We're going to help you target those high income collectors on Instagram so we can target the collectors that's making the top 5% of the income that's already spending millions on brands like Artsy, Art Basel, Sotheby's, Christie's, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. All right. We can target any brand that's on Facebook and Instagram that allows us to target them with this system. Okay. And so that total value is over $10,600. But you can join for a special 94% off today for only $9.99. And again, we have our financing partnerships with Afterpay, Affirm, and Klarna. And so you can get started for only $47.96 per month if you choose Klarna financing. A lot of artists use that. It's super affordable to get started for less than $48 a month when you enroll at affluentartist.com. All right. If you need help ordering, text join to 470-777-7549. All right. You got any questions? Type your questions in the chat. I don't see any questions. So we're going to be getting up out of here. All right. If I don't see any questions, we still got a few artists on. Let me know if you got a question in the chat. I'll stick around for a few more minutes. You got any question about signing up? Let me know. What did you think about the presentation? What was your number one takeaway? All right. If you on the fence about joining, talk to me in the chat. All right. We are live. I'm here to help. All right. Still got a couple artists here. You got a question? Ask your question. Let me know. All right. And if we don't have any questions, I'm going to get up out of here. All right. I'm going to do one last recap. So again, get started today, man. Excited to have you all in the program. Join our team at affluentartist.com. We're excited to serve you and help you sell your art. If you need help ordering, text join to 470-777-7549. All right. When you get started today, you become a member of the Affluent Artist Masterclass. You're going to get your Artwork Gold account. You become a member of the Affluent Artist community. You're going to get that luxury pricing method so you can charge your worth. You're going to get that automated collector system so you can get collectors coming to you 24/7 on autopilot. And you'll be able to find your collectors with me. All right? I'm going to personally help you target those high-income collectors to show you how to set up your Instagram art ads so you can have collectors coming to you, asking you about buying your art day in and day out. All right? It's a powerful, powerful system. Miss Anitra and so many other artists, but she's so top of mind because I just talked to her a couple of days ago on our sales session call. And she got over 200 collectors, like 277 that came in the first 16 days when she turned on her automated collector system, okay? We showed you how Isha selling pieces for over 10K, Brisha Jones selling art for over $5,000, $6,000, Jen selling art for over $5,000. Christian, he sold over $4,000 in his first month, got a sale in the first 30 hours. Kira got a sale in the first 19 hours, all right? So this flat out works no matter if you're just getting started like Kira or if you are a vet like Isha. Man, we got you covered when you become an affluent artist at affluentartist.com. All right. So I don't see any questions. We're going to get up out of here, man. Peace and much love to everybody. Y'all have a wonderful evening. You still got a little bit over 72 hours to take advantage of this offer before it goes back to the $5,000 full price. Okay. You got a question or you need help ordering, you can text JOIN to 470-777-7549. All right. Peace and much love to everybody. Y'all have a good night and we'll see y'all next time.